Man, we're getting home. Thank you. I am very, very excited to be here today, and namely because this has been about 15 years coming. I'm calling in a favor from Dr. Brown over there 15 years ago. And I'll let you do the math on that. He said I was 29, I'll help you with it. That means I was 14 years old at the origin of this favor. And it happened when I was actually freshman, sophomore of high school. Dr. Brown was known as Dr. Payne because he ran the hardest wrestling practices around. Jesus. Good job. Can everybody hear me? Yeah? He ran the hardest wrestling practices around. Period. End of discussion. And on one of these practices, I happened to come out with a black eye and a busted lip. What happened was just standing house of pain. Next morning, I'm in the first period class. Phone comes on, call Patterson to the office, please. And you know that feeling you get when that happens? You're like, oh man, what did I do? I'm thinking what I did yesterday, what I did 6 months ago that they just found out about. I'm game planning in my head. Who knows what that feels like? Probably, right? You know how now to not let that happen? Don't get in trouble. I'm telling you, it's kind of boring if you don't, but hey, such is life. So I'm walking to the office and I'm game planning in my head because the last thing you want to do is hear that the principal say, hey Cole, did you know what happened to that golf cart? Did you put it on the gymnasium roof? And you freeze, which I did not do, by the way. But you freeze. Then you might as well just say, yeah, I did it, because they're going to think you did it anyway. So you got to have a nice plan in your head going. Well, as soon as I walk in there, who do I see? Dr. Payne himself, sitting there like this. And I knew it. They thought he beat me up. They did. They thought he hit me, and I busted out at his career, right here in my hands. Oh, it was great. I had him. But I knew it's Dr. Brown. He's awesome. So I go ahead and just put that in my jar. I'm going to leverage that. I'm going to leverage that. You owe me. 15 years later, here we are. I was out of the country and I said, Coach Brown, I need you. I got something I need to talk to your kids about. He said, next chance, you're ready. I drove in last night, got here, and I am excited. I'm excited because I have a great time living my life. I have a great time with life. It's contagious. I feel if living life is contagious, if it's infectious, then I should share it with you. So that's what we're here with. Yeah, it's crazy because I'm not a professional athlete. I can't hit a baseball out of Fenway. I'm not a Navy SEAL. I'm not a big-time war hero that jumps out of airplanes and sneaks around and goes and kills Osama bin Laden. I don't do that. I'm not a doctor. I don't have a master's degree or a doctorate degree. I have none of it. I tell you what, I am an ordinary person with a ridiculous work ethic that learned the right way to dream big. Learn the right way to dream big. And it's nice because I feel as if there is a gap, a big gap, a disconnect between what the structured learning and the information that you're getting from the adults and what you should be and could be learning. And it's nice because I'm positioned now as I'm 29 moving into my 30s, and you guys are moving into your young adulthood, that I can help you out and I can share some of this. And I'll give you an example of what I mean. Today, this lecture series is called Chasing Dreams, let me get this right, Chasing Dreams and Planning for Real Life Success. Sounds good, right? Yeah, absolutely, real life success. I get it. I've heard just recently you guys did Dress for Success, right? You guys did that? Who dressed up? What did you guys wear? You can just yell it out. What was it? Did anybody dress like me? No? Who dressed like Lady Gaga? Get over here. Yeah, I like it. Well, what'd you wear? Button-up slacks? Why is that success? So I guess that goes back to the question, whose success are we here to talk about? My definition of success? Your adults? Their definition of success? Your parents? You have to be a doctor, you have to be a lawyer, you have to be an engineer to be successful? Well, that doesn't make sense. It's your definition of success. How do you define success? I know when I was here and I was in your shoes, this guy, big football player. I don't remember his name. Right? Only thing I remember was he was giving this motivational speech. And I am supposed to say something motivational to you guys, so I will say this with pause. Statistically speaking, the child that's going to live to 150 years old has already been born. Already been born. So let's say they were born yesterday, born today. Let's back that up a little bit. It means we, statistically speaking, could live to 130 years old. Okay, we're getting 106. My grandmother just died, 106. Okay, 130. So let's say the first 10 years of your life, you know, the first 20 years of your life, society doesn't expect much from you. Parents feed you, parents clothe. Okay. And the last 20 years of your life, same thing. You know, parents are home, you know, hopefully you don't go to their home today. So that means 80 years of your life, you could be broke. You could be trying to get a job or trying to figure out what you want to do with your life. It's kind of tough. So this big guy comes in with this motivational speech, and as we're leaving, he's handing out these poems. It's one poem, but he's handing them out. And it was by a guy named Ralph Waldo Emerson. Who knows him? Anybody? Emerson. Hey, awesome. The poem was titled Success, and I carried that poem in my wallet for years, man, all the way through college with that. Actually, we probably still have that today, but I lost that wallet on a crazy weekend in Vegas, which is a whole different story we can't talk about. But I lost that wallet, but I memorized this poem. And parts of it, and I'll tell it to you, this thing will let me. It says, to laugh often and much, to appreciate beauty, to earn the respect of intelligent people and the affection of children, to know that one life has breathed easier because you have lived. This is to have succeeded. Ralph Waldo Emerson. Powerful. But Ralph was born in 1802, 1803. He lived in the 1800s. He had nothing to do. Are you kidding me? Nothing to do. To laugh often and much. I laugh every day. I have YouTube. I laugh all the time. People send me stuff all the time. And trust me, I appreciate beauty every day on the internet. Every day. It's there. I see beauty. So what do you have to do? I mean, it's there. So by all accounts, Ralph Waldo Emerson, I'm successful every single day. Ralph, I want to be rich. I want to be successful. Write a poem about that. That's what I want to be. That's what you should tell me how to do. You didn't, clearly. So you have to rely on yourself, your definition of success. Now for me, I look back on it, my definition was ridiculous. But your success is a journey. So it started. My definition was very, very easy. I wanted to be successful. Now who was successful? What did they all have in common? They all drove really, really, really nice cars. So I want a really, really, really nice car. Very simple. Now who had nice cars? Professional athletes. I would be a professional football player. That's it. Made up my mind. I'm going to be a player. I'm an 8th grader. Now, I made up this decision because I broke every single football record when I was in 7th grade. Straight. You know how many people know that? Me. And now you. Tell your friends. I don't mind. Tell everybody. 7th grade. Broke all of them. Bill Art Falcons. I actually still have that travel bag from 7th grade. Terrible. So, freshman year, I roll right through high school. First day of class, I'm standing out in the field. I was number 2. Remember, ridiculous work ethic. I got out there first day. I'm standing out, and I remember getting ready for practice, and I feel this helmet. Hey, hold this. And I remember looking, and immediately I said, that's a varsity helmet. That's about the same size as my head. I'm going to be all right. I'm going to make it. I'm going to be a pro ball player. Then I remember this huge hand coming in and grabbing it, and I looked up. Oh, 6'6", 225 pounds and can run. Vince Wright, 17-year-old boy. 17 years old. Wow! I looked at him and said, better study. I'm playing the pros. I gotta be smarter than he is. I'm going to have to leverage my brain because that's tough. That's tough. Didn't give up on the training. Slight adjustment. Okay. So, you know, moving through high school, get to my senior year. Going on a recruiting trip to University of Tennessee. Makes perfect sense. Come on, I'm going big time. I'm going pro. It's going to happen. I'm smarter than everybody else, so I can play a little better. Got the recruiting trip, went up there. Coach took one look at me and said, oh, we thought you were 6 foot. You can't coach size. You can't coach size? You got a 5'8" cornerback on your roster. Come on. He said, yeah, can you do this? This calls this kid over. I'll never forget his name, or won't remember his name, never forget what he did. He comes up and like it was his job, runs and jumps directly over my head. I looked at him and was like, yeah, I guess he thought maybe I blinked or something. He goes, was it enough? Stood, flat-footed, 5'8", underneath the basketball goal, jumps up, does a 360 and dunks. Coach says, can you do that? I said, nope. Talk about reality? Whoa. Now what? I want a really nice car. I got to be successful. The only people I know, professional athletes. Well, who else? Well, statistically speaking, most people that graduate from college have a nice car. Looks like I got to go to college. I didn't go to college because someone said, hey, you should go to college. I went to college because my definition of success took me to college. Okay. Now what's college? Oh man, at this point it's just ridiculous. You're sitting back and you're looking, well, the best cars go to the best school, so I gotta get to the best school. Well, I wasn't really smart enough to get into those great schools. I didn't study like I should have in high school to get to Harvard, to get into Yale. But I had something where I could do something that those kids couldn't do. That kid could jump over my head. Fantastic. Kid at Yale, he probably do some computer stuff and a lot better than I could, but I guarantee he wasn't as fast as I was. So I was going to leverage my athletic ability to get me somewhere that my brain wouldn't let me. Okay, I knew once I was there, we'd be fine. I knew once I got into school, failure was not an option. So I did what any rational person would do. I went to college day. Now, for those of you that don't know what college day is when you get a bunch of bozos all in one room and they tell you about how great they are because they went to this school. And if you take a step back, it all sounds the same. I went here, I'm awesome, I've done this, I went to this school, and it's all because I went here. And I got in there and I started sitting down listening to them, all the same noise. One guy got up, and he did, I will remember, his name was Chris Dempsey, got up and said, if you don't know what you want to do with life, but you want to have a lot of fun, I've traveled around the world twice before I graduated. I'm retired, big check, about 40-something years old, works for me, and yeah, that's about it, I'll be over here. Sounds great to me. I mean, 18 years old, don't know what you want to do, check. Want to travel the world? Check. Retired by 40? That one's gold. I definitely want that one. So, here we go. Now, how do you differentiate everybody? So, I went back to my fallback plan of, I want to have a nice car. So what did I do? I took the brochure, which had their pictures in it, went and sat in my car and waited for everybody. I want to see what they got in. They came, you talk a great game, let me see the car you're driving. Sat down and waited. I was in that parking lot for probably 3.5 hours, checking people off. Last person, Chris Dempsey, comes strolling out, gets into a brand new Mercedes-Benz. I'm from Douglasville, Georgia. Mercedes-Benz comes around there. It was nice. I mean, you're like, hey, that guy must be somebody. Chris Dempsey gets into that car. First mentor. He never knew it. That was my first mentor. I'm like, man, that's where I'm going to school. That's where I'm going to school. That's it. I'm going to be him. I'm going to be in that car. I'm going to be retired. That's it. I'm going to school with him. U.S. Merchant Marine Academy. That sounds official. That's going to be tough. Go home. Google it. No problem. Military Academy. Military Academy. Didn't really think that one through. Well, I had my definition. I was sound on it. I was going. There we go. I'm going to the military academy. It happened. So I get to Kings Point. and I learned one major thing. A, it's in New York City. That's awesome. There is a whole world outside of here. We all see it on the internet. Trust me, it's there. I promise you there are other things out there. So I get there and I realize now that who you surround yourself by is huge in the impact that you have in life. If you want to better yourself, better everything around you. And you can't help but do better. And I'll tell you about it. My roommate in college started his own company at 25. Tug and Bars Company. His name's Chris Rickman, Chicago Marine. He just saw something, was like, I'm tired of working, created his own job. Another buddy, I was actually standing. I'll never forget, I was standing in front of this big white building called Wiley Hall. And I'm in my white uniform, and it is pouring rain. And we all want to quit every single day. If you go into this is like the official quitting building. You go in there, tell them you're going to quit, sign the papers, you're out. I remember standing there, pouring rain, and my buddy Matty Furman, comes over and grabs me and goes, hey, not today. You can quit tomorrow, but not today. We got a game this week, let's go. Grab me, that was it. And I thought to myself, like, you know what? Right, not today. Not today, that's it. Another day. We'll move forward one more day. Matty Furman, out of Houston now, married, 29 years old, same age, married, makes about $500,000 a year, 3 kids, beautiful wife. It's great, living the life, one day at a time. You knew where he wants to go? He went. So I'm moving through the academy, I get through, get to graduation, finally make it, and I need a mentor. I want to go somewhere. Now that I'm here, where do I go? So I looked at the most successful people that graduated from my academy, that stood in my shoes and said, how am I going to get there? Follow somebody else. Somebody's done it. I'm not looking to reinvent the wheel. Is there a way to do it? Follow them. A guy by the name of Robert Kiyosaki, class of 1969. Mentor number 2. Still doesn't know it. He wrote every book. You guys might have heard the books, maybe not. Rich Dad, Poor Dad. That was his whole ideology was, I need to teach people to be smart with their money because it's getting ridiculous. He gave me one huge and profound insight into my own definition of success. I went from saying I want to have a nice car to I want to afford a nice car. Small word, huge, profound impact. Fiscal responsibility. Okay, I get it. Don't just buy stuff and you can't afford it. All right, I get it. But he also told me this. He said, the day you drive off the lot with your brand new car, it's not worth as much. And it's going to lose value every single day. So instead, buy a house. Houses never go down in value. I bought 2 of them before I bought my car. Wrong. That went down. But actually, that was another profound moment because I realized that history is being read. Think about that. History is being read. By the time that he wrote this down, which probably was true when he was writing, he said, look, cars are bad, houses are good. It was a great, huge housing. Everyone made money on houses. Great. By the time that got into editing and through to the publication and onto my hands so that I could read it during class and I should have been paying attention, happens. Then it was old. It was old news. We are actively writing history. What we do now is being echoed in history. So what do we have to do? Do something awesome. So I stepped forward. I said, I'm going to put my mark in history. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to build an empire. You're going to tell me anything, all right? That's what I'm going to do. Tragedy hits. Very beginning, tragedy hits. Inside linebacker played football with me at the academy. A gentleman by the name of Michael Parrish. This kid was tough as nails. I mean, Pittsburgh kid. I mean, yeah, it's inner city, steel mills. He was just tough. He was on a vessel, a charter vessel called the Jade Princess off the coast of Japan. Typhoon blows up, called the Super Typhoon. Ship vanishes. Gone. Entire crew lost. Ship never found. No debris. Nothing. Gone. Wow. I'm a tough kid. I like to think that I'm invincible. Come on, I'm 20 years old. I'm invincible. Gone. Lost. Gets home. Kind of resonates with me. But you really don't don't know what to do with that. You're like, ah, you know, I mean, it's a freak accident. Yeah, it happens. You mourn, you learn your lesson, you move forward and determined. I'm building my empire. Now, 6 months later, second tragedy. Another ball player of mine played with my defensive end. All three of us were in the huddle together. This kid actually went to school with me, was in my freshman fleet class with me. A man by the name of Frank Toner. Frank Toner was killed in an accident in Afghanistan. He was out PTing, or physical training, with his platoon. And an enemy insurgent decided that he was going to infiltrate the guard tower and turn on the platoon inside the guard tower and start killing people. Now, there's three types of people. If there's an explosion, you have three things that'll happen. You'll either freeze, you'll duck and cover, or you'll go right towards it. Those are the three types of people. Frankie was that last one. As soon as the gunfire started, he looked up, saw where it was, and took off. Straight for him. But he's running in zigzags. Makes sense? As the gunman turns and tries to follow, eventually killing him, enough time had transpired that he actually saved his platoon from dying. Frank's wife was given the Silver Star for his valor. That is the third highest medal. He is actually the highest King's Pointer. That's the highest honor a graduating King's Pointer has ever received. Frank was a hero of mine, but he died doing what he believed. And I started thinking about that, and it made perfect sense to me, because what we do is just what we believe. And if you can live your life that way and only do all of your inner thoughts and your inner beliefs, it's amazing. And you're willing to die for that. I mean, the world's yours. That one hit home with me, because the first one, it's a freak accident. Freak accidents happen. But this one, that could easily have been me. I'm willing to die for what I believe in, absolutely. That was tough. So I took my life and I paused it and said, you know what? I need to take a step back, because this whole idea of building this empire, to do what? So I can retire and have fun and go travel and spend all this money. I can go do that now. Why? Well, why wait? Why wait until I'm older to go do that? So I did. I paused my life. I went to college. I got my career. I can always get a job. Jobs are there. It's not in society. You'll always have jobs. If you prepare yourself early, you'll always have a job. So I said, what do I want to go do? I want to learn snowboard. Beautiful. My buddy called me. It's cold. I hear you like to snowboard. I said, yeah. He said, let's go to Russia. I said, let's go. He was like, cool, we can do that. How are we going to do it? I don't have any money. I was like, me neither. Well, looks like we have to get creative. Go back to all the football coaches. Leverage. Let's see who we have. Ah, this guy used to know this guy. He's over at Under Armour now. Beautiful. So if we get Under Armour to sponsor us, we don't have to pay for anything. Call him up. Hey, Coach Cummings, what's going on? Hey, what are you guys doing? Hey, listen, I started this company. I'm going to go travel around the world and do some snowboarding. I need your sponsorship. Oh, I can't give you any money. I said, I don't need your money. I just need you to say I can do it. And Under Armour likes it. Hey, you got it. Beautiful. Built a website. Hired a cameraman. Under Armour is our sponsor. You guys all think I'm awesome, don't you? I'm terrible at snowboarding. I'm not any good. I didn't tell you guys that. I didn't say, hi, I'm Cole, I have all this, but I'm a bad snowboarder. They said, here, free stuff, take it. We'll give you all this, come stay here, just film us. I wore a t-shirt, I had a hat. If the camera was on, I was a sponsorship. Yeah, absolutely, why not? Who cares? Free sponsorship for them. The trains, we're going to run with or without us. Let us be on it. I'll put your logo on. The website and views. Who cares? I got to go travel around the world. Creative. Work ethic. Fine, we can do it. Before I left, though, my dad said something to me that was profound. He said, Cole, your glass is full. I said, what do you mean? Like half full? Like it's half empty is half full? He said, no. It's full. You might want to work on that. Strolling out, that's it, whatever. Going. Didn't understand what he meant until I was in India. And I was sitting on this stool in this big, we call it a bathtub, it's like a big barrel. And this little steward, a little Indian guy, just hustling there. It's about 5:30 in the morning because we're back in the Kashmir in the mountains growing up and doing some snowboarding. And he doesn't speak any English, but he has this big pot. It's boiling water. Because he had to heat it up because Westerners, I'm going to take a warm shower. I mean, I'm just getting in the States. I'm going to have to live in cold, cold water. No, no, no. I need warm water. The only thing that he actually said to me, he couldn't speak English, but he looked down and said, life is good. Life is good. All right, I see that. Why? I mean, it's freezing. Ah, hot water. I have hot water. That's why life's good. I get it. Kind of. Simple life. All right, I see where you're going with that. You know, you don't need all these things to make you happy. All right, I get it. Moved on. Didn't think anything about it. Next country I go to, Russia. Oh, Russia. Everything was happening wrong to get to Russia. We got snowed in India. We missed our flights when we were in Heathrow in London. It all happened because we needed to have a cheeseburger. We had just come from China to India. I needed an American cheeseburger. We were in the airport for 9 hours, a 9-hour layover. But the only place that opened for a burger was at 11 a.m. Our flight was at 11:40. We did not make that flight. Actually, the lady said, Americans and their cheeseburgers, because we're running down trying. There, we missed it. So then we finally get to Russia, and we have all these helicopter tours set up. Probably, I don't know. Can't say pronounce it, I'm not Russian. But the Sochi Olympics are going to be in Sochi, Russia. And that's where we were. We were going out in these big helicopters, the old Soviet Cold War, big monster, pouring rain. Now what? All right, well, can't do that. We spent all of this money to get there. We didn't spend it, but still, it's money's money. We get there and nothing. It's raining. So we decided just to go up to the mountain. Terrible. Snow's bad. We're falling all over the place. We don't care. We're in Russia. Whatever. We're happy to be traveling. We walk into this place at the very, very downturn of the sine curve of life. We're at the very bottom of it. Changed my life. And I'll tell you what happened. I meet two guys. Vladimir, go figure. Konstantin, now known as Kostya and Zaza. And they saw us, and they saw this contagious, infectious feeling that they had. When they saw us, they felt it. They said, look, man, these guys are great. It's pouring rain. They're not from here, but they're happy. Let's talk to them. Brought us in. These guys were amazing. Ended up taking us to Moscow. We saw the Kremlin. We saw the Red Square. Just took us. And then we went and met their bosses. Oh, one of them was getting knighted that day. We go in there. This guy had a $500,000 watch. Watch. 3 of my houses on his wrist. No problem. You think rich, you think, oh, Jay-Z's rich. Michael Jordan, they're rich. He's got a Bentley. Great. He had 5. One had a gold-plated engine in it. Why? Because, Bentleys are one thing, but you also have the Rolls Royce. Now, I don't know if you know this or not. The difference between a Bentley and a Rolls Royce is you drive a Bentley, you're driven in a Rolls Royce. So as we're being driven in his Rolls Royce, he looks over to me and says, hey Cole, you see a lot of stuff you want, don't you? I said, absolutely. He had 13 original Salvador Dali statues on his desk. $1 million a piece. Just one. Changed my life. All I want was one. Changed my life. You see a lot of things you want, don't you? Absolutely. He goes, I look at you and I see one thing I want. I said, good looks. And he started laughing. I'm all right. He said, time. He said, I have all the money. I don't have any time. So if you spent 3.5, 4 months out there traveling, what are you going to do? You can do anything you want. I've had a country relying on me for the last 5, 6 years. Eric is his name, and his brother Sasha and Zaza and Kostya, those guys are heading up 2 projects. One's with the Sochi Olympics, and the other one is the subway system, the metro system in Moscow. That's what he's building. The metro, imagine building the subway system in New York City. So, I mean, how many people do you affect with your work? You want to do the craziest part? We celebrated Eric's 25th birthday just last week. 25 years old. Wow. Eric's 25 years old. Now I understood what my dad said. Hey, pour out some of that water and watch you pour stuff in. Your glass. Dump it out. Watch it get filled back up. And by whom does it get filled back up? Eric, 25 years old, mentor number 3. Younger than me. Kind of weird to think about that. He didn't go to Harvard. He didn't go to Yale. He didn't have MBAs. He was 25 years old. But his definition of success caused him to have a thirst for knowledge and education. He read it. See, you know, what's crazy is that I know growing up when I was in high school, you know, we always say, oh, you gotta go to college, you gotta go to college, you gotta get a good job. And then you always see, look, he didn't go to college, he's filthy rich. It's true. Because at that time, you were in that industrial age where you could take off and everyone was even. Everyone was even. You didn't have to go to college. It was a race. Well, guys, I'm going to tell you right now, we're at that same point. Everybody has the ability to have access to the same information. The same exact information. Every morning, I wake up, and I go to Harvard, Yale, MIT, Stanford, and every now and then I'll jump across the pond and go over to Oxford, see what they're doing. Every morning. How? Who here knows what iTunes is? iTunes? Nobody? Fine. iTunes? Better question. Teachers, who has iTunes? A couple of you? Nice. Who here knows what iTunes University is? Free. Free. All these professors. You have entrepreneurs, you have anybody, anything you can think of, free. Information. I don't need a $150,000 MBA from Harvard or any of these places. I get one from each of them for nothing. Cost my internet connection. You're at that phase where you can push forward. Awesome. So I get home. I found a local celebrity around the house. You know, I traveled around the world. I had all these, pictures. We had a cameraman. They filmed everything and put it on our website. We were excited. And I let my ego get so big because inside I was lost. I was lost because my definition of success seemed stupid. I mean, I just saw a guy with all these Bentleys. Have a nice car. And he just told me, you have no time if you're going to use it. You have no time to drive me. You have no time to do anything. Then I saw the poorest of the poor, and the kid looks at me and says, life is good. What do you make of that? We're both in the spectrum. My definition of success, gone. Absolutely gone. So what do? I did the worst thing that I think any of you could ever do, and that is listen to other people. I started listening to what other people said. Cole, you'll be a great lawyer. Go to law school. You should go to law school. It's exactly what you should do. Go to law school. I started believing it. I knew anything I do, I was good at it. Yeah, why not? I'll go to law school. So I spent the 7 months or however long it took to study. And in that time of trying to define myself, I lost myself. And I did something that I regret to this day. And I'm ashamed of it. And I'll tell you about it. It was a girl. I hurt somebody. I hurt someone badly. It was a girl. It was the girl. The one who got away. She was beautiful. Beautiful, blonde, nurse, fantastic. I lied. I cheated. I was inconsiderate. I was selfish. I didn't know what to do. I was lost. I woke up one morning, looked at myself in the mirror, and I said, you were rotten. You're rotten. But I knew I had the fortitude to move forward. So I left. I got on the plane and went home. Got home and started to try to adjust and reevaluate. My dad. Get a phone call from my dad. 11 o'clock at night. Never good. It's never good when you get a phone call from parents and, my age at 11 o'clock at night. supposed to sleep. I hear background like, "Dad, what's going on?" He said, "Cole's in the hospital. I have a brain tumor." I said, "What?" "I have a brain tumor." This happened, where are we at, 2012 now? This happened April 5th of last year. So it's less than a year, months ago. I get that phone call and, I'm right home. In a 4-month period, I watched my 250-pound hero wither to 170 pounds and die right in front of me. And as I'm holding his hand and he's breathing his last breath, he looks up at me and he says, "Cole, whatever you do, don't vote Democratic." He said, "Don't vote." He didn't say that. He didn't say anything, actually. But you know what he also didn't say? He didn't say, "How many cars do I have?" He didn't say, "Oh, what's my bank account look like?" He didn't say anything. He shared a look with me. And I looked at him and I'll never forget it. He didn't say one word. But what I said to him with my eyes was, "You know what? I breathe easier because you live. You succeed." "Oh, Ralph, I get you. I see what you're saying. You can have success over here, but you gotta have a little bit of a holistic approach to it. There's other things that are important." So I moved from there, learned my lesson, decided to rechart my life. But the problem that you run into is, how do you move forward? How do you define that success? And I realized that I had become a projection of what everyone else said I was. You're so funny, you're so athletic, you're so smart. Well, conversely, you're dumb, you're stupid. You don't have to let someone else's opinion of you be your reality. Think about that. You don't have to let someone's opinion of you be your reality. We all have the same information. I can go be whatever I want to be. And I knew deep down that I was destined for greatness. I knew it, I felt it. When you feel something like that, the universe conspires to give it to you. Because that inner drive is the most important energy out there in the universe. And if you can harness that, it's gold. See, people have this idea that greatness, this idea of greatness is just, it's uncanny. You can't capture it. It's locked in a select few people and you can never get it. And it's wrong because greatness is in each and every one of us. It's somewhere in there. You just got to figure out what your greatness is. And when you do, use that ridiculous work ethic to get there, and you're done. So I challenge all of you, be passionate about life. Do something. Whatever you do, just do something and do it well. If you work hard, that's all you have to do. Passionate, work hard, love what you do, and remember, we are only what we believe. So do what you believe, and you can't help but be successful by anybody's account. Thank you.